Hey family, Whew. Today has been an eventful day, but welcome back to another Bible study, okay? So today we're going to be getting into who is the devil, okay? So most people believe the devil is a single entity, okay, that goes around creating havoc with his demonic minions, okay? But is this the truth, okay? According to History.com, the devil, also referred to as Satan, is best known as the personification of evil, okay, and the nemesis of God, okay. So ever since God kicked him out, his ultimate goal was to just trick God's people into doing the opposite of what God tells them to do, okay. And this purpose is because he's jealous. He's upset that he messed up, and he didn't get a second chance. But we mess up every day and God forgives us. And, people, he probably was thinking, what makes them more special? But it's not that we're more special. It's just that, he knew better. He knew right from wrong. And he deliberately chose to do wrong, okay? And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that he deliberately chose to do wrong. Here, let me take you to the passage. As you can see in Enoch chapter 6, verse 5, and it says, "And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath and all bind ourselves mutual curses, so we will not abandon this plan, but to do this thing." Then they all swore together and bound themselves by mutual curses. So as you can see, not only did they deliberately, sin against God, but they planned it out and everything. That's kind of like, as they say, what is it? When you plan a murder out and do it, versus if you just accidentally murder somebody. But when you actually plan it out and then follow through it, that's the same thing. That's on that level. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just accidentally, sin. They planned it out. They made a pact and, it was and followed through. This is what we gonna do. And, whatever happens, happens. That's what they said. Okay? And right there lets you know that it's not just one devil, that it's multiple. Because as you can see, it says they planned it. They got together and made an oath to do this thing, to create sin, okay? So the devil, excuse me, he, oh, sorry you guys, I'm still trying to get over this cold. But he goes by many names because he wanna be like God, but you can't be like God because there's only one God, okay? So his names that he go by is Beelzebub, Lucifer, Satan, Baphomet, and Mephistopheles. He is also known to be a master of disguises, okay? So, he first appeared to Eve as a snake. He came to Seth, which was Adam and Eve's third son, as an angel, and he appeared to Abraham's wife as an old man. So he's a shapeshifter, okay? He's going to appear to whatever, nature or being he needs to, like, draw you in to get you to listen to his mess, okay? So he can get you to, sin against God and do the opposite of what God is telling you to do. As God put it, he I can't think of the word right now. Sorry, you guys. I'm having brain fog. It's going to come back to me later. Okay. So how many Satans are there? Okay. So, as Enoch tells us, it's about 200 leaders, okay? And each one of the leaders had a command that, they led. So they say it was about 2,000 angels that fell, okay? So you have I say the command is probably like demons, and the leaders, the 200 leaders, is probably the false gods that's going around here, okay? And one of them is mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 8, verses 12. Let me go to it. Sorry, you guys, I'm almost there. Chapter 12. Oh, no, chapter 8. Okay. But it's really more like chapter 14, but we'll go read the whole thing, okay? He said to me, son of man. Okay, this is Ezekiel chapter 8. He said to me, son of man, have you seen what the elders of Israel are doing in the darkness, each at the shrine of his own idol? They say the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. Again, he said, you will see them doing things that are even more detestable. Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there mourning. I saw women sitting there mourning the god Tammuz. He said to me, do you see this, son of man? You will see things that are even more detestable than this. So Tammuz is supposed to be a god of like fertility or something like that, I believe. It's fertility. So this is why the women are bowing down to it and, trying to hope that this fake god would give them, power to be able to bear children. Another god that's mentioned in the Bible is Baal. Baal. A lot of people have been speaking about Baal right now. He's one of the guys that a lot of, they say, rich people, famous people bow down to, because he's like the God that you sacrifice blood to in order to receive power. Okay, so people were sacrificing their children in the Bible to Baal, and God was upset about that. Okay, he was telling you not to sacrifice your children, shed your blood to these fake gods. Okay, so now we know the devil is not just one being, but multiple entities, okay? And they are called the fallen, okay? And this kind of makes sense why the Greek had so many gods that they worship, because they was worshiping all these fallen angels, okay? And it's kind of like the angel became their job. You know what I'm saying? Because God gave each individual angel a job. If it's to control the clouds, control the sun, excuse me, control the water, whatever it is, they all had a job to do, okay? So when they fell, they still had the knowledge and power of how to control those things, okay? So they was teaching this stuff and, showing these things to the people, these humans, so they assumed they was gods, okay? Because they was like, oh my gosh, this being can control the clouds, so we're going to call this the god of clouds, okay? So these fallen angels, they were once, angels. Who knows if they was beautiful, because, the way angels are described, they're not really that beautiful. They're kind of creepy. That's why they always tell you not to be afraid, because they wasn't really beautiful. So the devil was once a beautiful angel, and he, tried to take God's place and fell from heaven. That's not how it happened, okay? I have seen nowhere that's how it happened. And I don't know where that story come from and why people continue to spread that, even though they cannot find it nowhere. Y'all don't see that in your Bible. These angels fell from heaven because of sex. They lusted after women and had sex with them, okay? And this made God mad because he said he didn't create them for that purpose. That these women, he had already created husbands for these women. And so they was messing up the gene pool. You know what I'm saying? Because God always put certain people together so he can get the seed that he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like Ruth and Boaz had to get together for, is it Jesse, David's father, so David could be born. You know what I'm saying? It's the bloodline. God be trying to, cause it's the bloodline. You got, that's why he put it in there. He be trying to show you, like, my prophets is in this bloodline, okay? But they was messing up the bloodline. They was messing up God's purpose for these people and the seeds that they wanted to come from these people, okay? So they was once angels. They all had a position, okay? They all had a job, okay? And when they fell, they started telling secrets, okay? And we're going to go back to the book of Enoch, because he's going to show us the jobs that these angels had, okay? And the secrets that they was telling to the humans, okay? Okay, they don't have all 200 names, but here goes some of them. And it says, and these are the names of their leaders. Samlaza, their leader, Araklaba, Ramil, Koklabel, Tamlil, Ramil, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakiel. Okay. And it says Aziel, Emeros, Batarel, Aniel, Zaquiel, Samsapil, Sadarel, Turel, Jomjel, Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens. And all of them together went and took wives for themselves, each choosing one for himself, and they began to go into them and to defile themselves with sex with them. Okay, so when these fallen angels did this, the women began to give birth to these giants and these demigods, as the Greek put it, these superhuman, strong, humans. It was because of these fallen angels, having sex with human women. They started producing all these type of super children. Some was just super big and super strong, and some was just super strong, okay? And this is how sin came into the world, okay? Because of sex, okay? And you can see that as truth, because everything is led by sex. They get you to go watch a movie, sex. They get you to buy stuff, they use sex. Everything is led by sex, and that's because that was the first sin, okay? And then, things just started getting so bad, okay? Because these children, they started killing the humans, taking from the humans, just committing all type of crime and murder, and then it said they started sinning against the beast and the birds. So I think that's where those tales of half humans, half animals start things, bestiality. They was sinning with the animals as well. So all this sin and wickedness just started to spread all over the earth. And it's to be true, because it's people nowadays that still mess with animals, and it's so disgusting. People, with horses. I seen this lady with her dog or something. She said she married her dog or something. I don't know. A lady married her cat. Like, I don't I don't understand it. But yeah, it's not for me to judge. It's up to God. He gonna handle all of that, okay? But they was doing all of these things, okay? And this is why God brought the flood, because they was just out here wilding, okay? They was wilding. So God was like, I can't believe I made these people. He started regretting that he created us, okay? Because we was out here wilding, okay? And it says that Aziel is the one that taught man, evil. I feel like they brought sin through sex, but Aziel taught man how to be evil. Okay, let me show you. Chapter 8, and it says, Aziel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and taught them about metals of the earth and the art of the work of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of anatomy, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of precious stones and all coloring of dye. Okay? And there where it's a great impiety, they turned away from God and committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all of their ways. Okay, we're going to drop down here real quick. And it says, Samaja. Okay, he's supposed to be the leader of everybody. Okay, so I guess he would be the main devil, as everybody would put it, the one that everybody just was thought this big mighty devil. He was the main one. Okay, he was the leader that, you know, kind of like talked everybody else into doing this. Okay, but at the same time they all agreed to doing it. Okay, so it says Shamaja taught the casting of spells, you know, like witchcraft and all that, and root cutting, like voodoo and all that stuff. Okay, it's Amoros taught counter spells, like release from the spells, like how to, you know, if somebody puts something on you, how to get it off. Okay, and then it says Barakio taught astrology, you know, how people be reading the stars and all that other stuff. Kokabel taught the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel, the signs of the earth. Samziel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they carried and they cried. They cried and they cried, went up to heaven. Okay, so we at chapter 9, verse 6, and it says, look at what Azil has done, who have taught all unrighteousness on the earth and revealed the eternal secrets which were made and kept in heaven, which men were striving to learn. Okay, so God never wanted us to learn witchcraft, astrology, the constellation. He didn't want us to know any of this stuff, because there are just some people that are born evil, and they just use any kind of knowledge to create more evil. So he didn't even want us to have the knowledge, but they brought that knowledge and gave it to us because, you know, to you know, throw it in God's face, basically, for not forgiving them. But why should have God forgiven them? They purposely, you know, indulged in sin that they knew was going to have consequences for it. But I guess they thought God was soft and that he should just like sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, it's okay, just don't do it again. God was like, nah, you knew better. When you know better, you do better. So they knew better. So they should have did better, okay? And Samaja, who taught spells, to whom you gave authority to rule over his associates. So this right here just, you know, goes to say what I was previously saying over here, that Samaja was the leader, okay? He was the leader of all of them, but they all agreed to create this, you know, to indulge in this sin. So even though he was the leader, he had he had more responsibility, because he should have told them no. But they, instead of telling them no, they all just, you know, agreed to create, you know, commit this sin together. And it says, and they have gone to the daughters of men on earth and have had sex with the women and have defiled themselves and revealed to them all kinds of sin. So when, you know, you see those ancient Egyptian like drawings on the wall of these gods that, you know, are coming down and giving them information, these are just fallen angels. Okay, it was the fallen angels coming down, giving them information on how to do things, okay? This is probably why the pyramids are still standing to this day, because whatever information that the fallen had gave them in order to, build these things in order to stand for a long time. And plus, I've been watching a couple of, History Channel episodes, and they believe that they were used for electricity, okay? And that's why they had the gold on the top, because gold was a good conductor to pull in electricity. So, who knows what they was actually doing with them pyramids, okay? I even saw that they had found like a electric chainsaw in there. So, I don't know. But that's cool, Like, you can see how history and God, it goes hand in hand. God is history. God is truth. And there's truth to back everything that he's saying, okay? And this is what has got me so, indulged in this, because, if you don't know where you're going before you start, you can get lost. You can get lost in this information, and it can confuse you, okay? So I knew what I was looking for. I wouldn't say what I was looking for, but I knew the direction God wanted me to go. So I didn't get lost in the information, because people are trying to tell you something about aliens, stuff like that. It's not aliens, it's the fallen, okay? So next week we're gonna go more into, talk about a little bit more of the devil. I don't think it's much more to talk about, but we're just gonna go over the different scenarios that he disguised himself and try to manipulate people. Because people say he's a liar, but after reading the stories, he's not really a liar. And I'm gonna show you why I say that. Because it's not like he really lied, but he just omits certain information, So that's why I say he not really lying. He be telling the truth, but he leave it vague, okay? He leave it so vague that you start creating scenarios in your head of what the truth is, instead of him just, you know how God is. God is real cutthroat, straight to the point. You don't have to create nothing in here. You know what it is. But the devil, he leave it so vague that he give you the truth, but he don't explain it to the point that, you're not creating extra information that is not true. So next week we're gonna go over how he do that, and then after that we're gonna just jump in and we're gonna start going over why God said Jesus contradict him. So we're gonna start going over the different stuff on how Jesus contradict him, okay? Because we need to get this truth out to as many people as we can, because as you can see, the end is coming. I was watching this video about how the Euphrates River has dried up. Like, the end is coming. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's coming. And so we need to make sure we're heading in the right direction before the end comes, okay? Because we do not want to get caught up thinking we doing what's right, and we not. That is the worst feeling in the world. I swear it is. The worst feeling, to be thinking you doing what's right and you still end up getting punished. And you like, so I just I don't I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but it's just like you've always been a good person, then somehow one day you end up in jail and you just like, how did I get here? I've always done what's right. Why am I here? But I bet you, Joseph, he probably felt like that too. Why he ended up in jail. He was doing what's right, right? And he ended up in jail. I'm going sideways, okay? I'm trying to stay on track. I'm going sideways. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. And next week, like I said, we're gonna jump back in here, go a little bit more in depth, like different scenarios, the devil, did his master disguises and try to manipulate people, okay? And we go see the difference when he's talking to people from when God talked to people, okay? I love you, family. Have a great day.